Hi, I'm Nick Pawson and you're watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by Sport 24 editor Garen Lamley to give us an update on the sad passing of Phil Hughes, of course the Australian cricketer, who was hit on the head by a bouncer during a club game and he passed away this morning. Garen, good morning.
Morning, Nick.
Terrible, terrible news. Of course, he was in an induced coma. Everybody was on edge waiting to hear the next bit of news, and the worst happened.
Absolutely tragic news to wake up to this morning. It sort of extends the tragedy in sport this year. In fact, after Senzo Malaudzi, a number of others as well that have lost their lives tragically this year. As you said, hit on the head, the back of the neck apparently. 2 days ago, he collapsed on the field, given mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, helicoptered out of there to hospital, induced coma, and unfortunately he didn't ever wake up. Passing away this morning, apparently family, friends at his bedside. So tragic news, as you can imagine, tributes pouring in from far and wide, not only in the cricketing world, rugby players like Brian Abana, Matt Giteau, Tim Noakes even, extending their condolences to Australia, to his family, and obviously Phil Hughes, who, 25, 3 days short of his 26th birthday. Really, really sad news.
And of course, this is a really freak accident. Obviously, cricket has its dangers. Every sport has its dangers. We know about Mark Boucher.
Yeah.
He had permanent damage to his eye after a bail hit him, and had to retire from the game. But other than that, it's the players wear protective gear. Phil Hughes had a helmet on.
Absolutely.
This really is a freak accident.
A freak accident. I mean, I wouldn't even begin to guess how many bounces he's faced in his career, whether it's out in the middle or in the nets. He ducked everyone up until then, elected to try and hook the one, missed it, got him on the neck, and it proved fatal. So freak accidents. It's obviously not going to stop bowlers in the future from bowling bounces. It's not going to stop batsmen from ducking, trying to hook the ball. It's in their DNA, in their nature to want to defend themselves, obviously first and foremost, but score runs at the same time. So this is going to be a tragedy. For the next couple of days. I see the cricket match between New Zealand and Pakistan has been called off today because of this, in tribute to Phil Hughes. But going forward, unfortunately, it's going to be not swept under the carpet, but a little bit forgotten, and we're going to carry on. And this series is coming up. Got a World Cup coming up. Batsmen, bowlers need to play for their positions as well. They don't want to concede runs. If you bowl a bouncer and it's not called wide, it's a dot ball. So that's what they're looking for. Obviously, need to ruffle up the batsman a little bit. Get him on the back foot rather than coming forward to them. So from their point of view, I can still see bouncers being bowled. I can't see the ICC ever banning the bouncer. It'll really give the advantage to the batsman more so than they currently even have. So freak accident, tragedy. Like I say, tributes pouring in from far and wide. But I think all cricketers sort of understand that it's a part of the game.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Do you think it might influence bowlers or just make them a bit more reluctant to bowl bouncers? And just Sean Abbott, the guy that bowled this ball, I mean, he must be feeling absolutely awful.
Absolutely, Sean Abbott. I mean, I'd hate to be him today. Obviously received counselling as did the rest of his teammates in that match. I can't see him rushing back to play anytime soon. He's going to surely take a time out from the game. Obviously people thinking of him as well. It wasn't really his fault. He bowled that ball the same as the ball before and the over before that. He just happened to miss the one. I can't really see it really changing. And unfortunately, just a terrible, unfortunate accident.
Garen, lastly, let's just look at Phil Hughes' career.
Right.
He had a particularly good record against South Africa, and I believe he was playing himself back into the Australian Test side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had a promising. I mean, he was only 25, had a promising career ahead of him.
Absolutely. He, like you said, still young, 25 for a batsman, very, very young. Played, I think, 26 tests, average of around 33, 34. Made his debut against South Africa, ironically enough, at the Wanderers in 2009. He scored a duck in his first innings, bounced back to score 75 in the second innings, and then went on to score back-to-back hundreds in the next test in Durban. So, he's got an affinity with South Africa. Perhaps why so many South African past and present Proteas have tweeted their support for him and his family. And as you say, with Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, on the injury list with the hamstring, he was favoured to be recalled to the squad for their current series or upcoming series against India, and a massive series for, as you can imagine, in Australia, for Australia against India. So tragedy there that he won't be part of that squad either. And then obviously heading into the World Cup, had he played himself into some form, he quite well possibly could have been included in the Cricket World Cup squad as well. His ODI average is actually better than his Test career. So he's a bit of a jack of all trades, if you like. He can play all formats of the game. So he's going to leave a massive void in the Australian opening ranks for sure.
Thank you, Garen.
Cool. Thanks, Nick.